What's the deal, my people? You know it is the Don Tony Teflon. I'm back at you. Another one. In this one, we are talking about the man in yellow. I know I have not been around for a little while and stuff. People have asked me, like, where you been and everything else. We'll go through it all and everything. My camera, the lighting is a little messed up here. I don't know why. I don't know why. 4K camera and it's still messed up. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. I am the Don Tony Teflon. Thank y'all for coming and watching and stuff. It's funny because I have people who are friends of mine who do YouTube and stuff, all the time, and they tell me that, why are you even bothering with this show from? It's not trending. Nobody is watching it right now. You got to wait for the show to come back on. But in all honesty, that is true and everything else. But I do love talking about it, and I still think there's a lot to talk about. So I'm going to talk about it, regardless of how many people come. May not be like it used to be with the 500 people here live and all that during the season. But listen, we have our diehard people. You're one of the familiar, just like myself, and we enjoy talking about this show. So what up to all y'all? Let me say what up to the people who are here right now. We got Debbie Obedi in the building rocking with us. John Haymaker is always rocking with us, as always. Isis Blue is up in this piece. Steven is up in here. So Vince is up in here rocking with us. There's my man Steven. My man TNJ is in the building. You know what I mean? Emmanuel is up in here rocking with us right now. You know what I mean? Who else we got? Val is in the building rocking with us right now. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by, John, even though you can't stay that long. I appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up for your boy on the way in and stuff and all that good stuff. And we're gonna talk about the man. Again, we've got the calling line. So if you want to call up and you want to speak to the Don and everything else, you let me know and everything. Seems like it's got a whole bunch of new stuff, scenes and all this new scene stuff and all that good stuff. I gotta mess with it. I don't know exactly what it does on the system, so I'm not gonna be utilizing it today. But hopefully eventually I will be utilizing it and everything else and all that good stuff. So that is what's up and everything. I just like to say thank you all for rocking with me and chilling with me first. And as always, Thug Mug is in hand. I got this Thug Mug probably over 10 years ago from a subscriber sent it to me. And I've been rocking it ever since. Thing is probably older than 10 years old, this mug, and it's still here with me. It's always going to be here with me as long as it holds up. It's cracked, it's everything else. It's real wood, so it cracked and everything, but it's still holding up. And we still gonna keep rocking and everything else with it. You know what I mean? We always gonna rock and rap. All right. Before we get into things about me and all that good stuff, we'll talk about that a little bit later. You're here to find out about the man in yellow. Now, I was on Julie B's Deep Dives last night, and that man in yellow happened to be on there with me, and a couple of people. Shout out to Julie B Deep Dives and everyone who was rocking with me, who came out there and rock with her, allowed me to come on there and stuff. So appreciate that and everything. So I was planning on just releasing a regular video about it, but for now we'll just release. I'll just do this all my thoughts on the man in yellow and everything. And again, you don't have to agree with me. If you don't, you can always come back and say something. What up, China Moon? And say something about it if you wish. You know what I mean? Then the 1800s Pirates mugs is made of the finest. Oh, you're correct. Skull. All right. Our introduction to the man in yellow. This is going to be hard for me to do by myself. I don't know what Phil is. The introduction to the man in yellow is at the end of the last season, season 3, when he comes out and he murders Jim. Now, first thing I think we should have to remember is that, the whole situation with Tabitha, the showrunners said that was supposed to happen next season, not this season, right? They moved the timeline of that whole situation up. So we look at it, their original plans probably wasn't to kill Jim this season, but to kill Jim next season. So you get all of the other things get moved up too. You get Victor's father showing up there. That was moved up. That means you get the whole plot line of Tabitha finding out that she's reincarnated Miranda and Jade finding out that he's reincarnated Christopher. All that stuff would have had to that would have had to be moved up too. So when you do things as people would say, George R. R. Martin used to always say, when you do things that from shows, like he would say about his books, that it's a butterfly effect. If you move things around, other things have to be moved around also. And so just to think that these people, what was going to be the actual storyline for this season if they didn't do that, is what I start to think about. Will we still have the Fatima birth of Smiley? I could still see that, and I could see everything else. But what would have been the secondary plot in there if they weren't going to do that? If they weren't going to do all things. Because if you don't have them come back, and you don't have the code being broken, and you don't have them, none of that code still goes out there. No one knows what that is and everything else. But so all that got moved up. So I wonder what they planned on doing, how they planned on ending this season more than what they did. You know what I mean? Because, listen, the Fatima baby birth and everything else, to me, it was all right. I understand it. They did set it up with the paintings and the wall and everything else, but I don't know if it was if it would have been enough. So I think that it was a good idea for them to move these things up. Now, number one, I think that the Man in Yellow came out 100% because Jade played the violin. I think that is what freed him from whatever realm he was in. Now, we know that he was the one who was talking to Jim on the radio, but just because he could communicate doesn't mean that he could actually affect this realm, right? We have seen things happen in there that are unexplainable, like the house fall down when they were in the RV, someone tapping on the bottom of the RV, things like that, because it was directly on the ground, the RV. So that's what you have to remember about the RV. When it was getting tapped on, it was directly on the ground. There was no gap in between. So whoever was tapping on the RV was really going through the ground and tapping on the bottom of the RV. Now, how can somebody do that? How is that possible? In the end, to me, it only works if it's some type of fourth dimensional situation going on here, or if we are in some type of dream reality, which could be considered a fourth dimension. Then that person would have the ability to do that and affect things without people in the third dimension being able to see them. So most likely, when people are in the fourth dimension, from what scientists say, no third dimensional being would be able to view them and everything, right? So if the Man in Yellow was in a fourth dimensional being and he was in the fourth dimension, you wouldn't be able to see him. You would just see the effects. But maybe by that playing that song is what unlocked him from that and made him physically able to go on to the ground and actually be seen in this whole situation, right? That's that. Now, number two about the Man in Yellow, we seen that it seemed like his eyes were dark, and it seemed like he had the same claws of the monster, right? So we know that those monsters got that way because they were convinced that they wanted to live forever and was suckered, like a jinn, as I said, like a jinn type tricked them into this, thinking like, oh, you can live forever, but this is how you're gonna live forever, right? You're gonna stay in this form forever, and when you die, you're gonna come back, and you're gonna be forced to keep repeating this pattern and stuff. All right. What up to Carla Way from Land Down Under, rocking with us right now? What up, girl? Good to see you here. So when you look at that whole situation with the Man in Yellow, it appears that that is his true form. Hello, Amy. And that's not his, and he's not glamored, right? When we see the other monsters in there, when they come out there and they chase everyone down, they look like the grandma, they look like the nurse, they look like whoever you want to call every one of them the cowboy, and their clothes look like they've been pressed and washed, right? And everything is good with them. It looks great. But when you see them in their original, when they transform to their monster form, we see that their clothes are battered and dirty, and they got varicose veins all over their legs, and they fucked up, right? They fucked up and everything, So that's where it goes with that, right? So he appears to be unglamorous because we could see the dustiness in his yellow suit, because the suit was dusty. right? Real dusty. And his teeth was fucked up, right? Now, in his original form, is he going to come in a sharp looking suit? We haven't seen him in that form yet. Is he going to have that original form? Beeline is asking the question, do you know when the new season is? No, I did last night. He did say that the man in yellow, he did say that he heard rumors that it quite possibly could be filming in June. And if they do film in June, to me, I don't think it would take more than 3 months to do it. Maybe another month for extra effects to do it. So if you're gonna get it, if we were gonna get it this year, it would be November, December, I would think, or probably they just wait till next year or something when it drops out and everything else. So yeah, it has to be some type of glamour that's on them. Again, how do they get this glamour? What is causing this glamour? How do they have this power to do that? That is the question. But obviously they are glamored in some type of way. Right? Again, and something else we have to know about the monsters. They know everything about everybody, right? Everybody in there, they know everything about them, and we cannot put that out of our minds. We can't forget that every one of these creatures know everything about everyone. How do they know everything about everyone? How do they know everybody's history? You know, when they brought in Christie's girlfriend, that whole bus, they brought her in for him. They brought, because Kenny was getting close to getting some ass, right? He was on his way. Even with the high waters, Kenny was on his way to get it. She was buckling. I mean, you heard Christy say, I don't know whether I should wait or do I just go around the world with the greatest man I've ever met. She was buckling. You know, that's hard to do. Listen, I don't like, I'd be hating on Kenny, right? You know, and yeah, I know why. I'd be hating on him. But to change a woman over, all right, is a hard thing to do. It's hard. And Kenny almost did it. He was close. He was right there to make her switch sides. You know, say switch back or whatever. But he was there to get her. He was right there. If Marielle didn't show up, he would have had that ass. He would have had her. If Big Feet Noah, he would have had that chick, right? It's straight up. It would have been a done deal. But they brought this chick in there to stop the flow. 100%. That is the way it has to go. That's it. Call away blasphemy for you saying that stuff. Blasphemy. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Is very, I truly appreciate it. He says, Tony, what do you make of the monsters looking surprised after Boyd killed Smiley? If they knew he'd come back, why were they shocked? I think that, I don't know if they ever been killed before. It's hard to, maybe they never had been killed. When they seen the resurrection, they seemed extremely happy. Like they knew where to go. And they were all standing there and they seemed extremely happy. So I don't know if they've ever seen it before. Again, they act robotic, right? As much as you want to say they act human beings, when it comes to certain things like the resurrection and standing around and looking, it was very robotic to me. Now, obviously, we've seen the autopsy and everything else. We know that there's no mechanics in there, but they act very robotic, very hive-minded, I should say, like the Borg, right? That's what I guess I would say from Star Trek. It was more like the Borg type situation they act like, which cannot be taken for granted. Again, even when they were outside there and when they were all trapped in the RV, they all stood back while the person tapped underneath and they didn't move. And they wondered, like, how come they're not coming up to the RV surrounding it they normally do, you know what I mean? So they seem very stoic, like somebody was telling them, like, hey, just chill right here, wait while I do this. Like they were interfering. And then when Randall ran past them, then they all turned and chased after Randall. So I don't think that's a coincidence that they did that. Thank you for the super chat, Kelly Johnson. The man in yellow suit got my man T shook like he's one of Mobb Deep. So no. Listen, man. Another thing about the Don ain't shook about nothing, man. No, life don't shake the Don. The Don gets cats shook. I'm from Queens, New York. Always remember that, bro. I'm always here, man. I see you, Phil. When you're ever ready to come on, just let me know.
I mean, you started talking about the Borg. I had to come on. I mean, you
Yeah.
mentioned Star Trek. You called me out by mentioning Star Trek.
You know what? When I was on Julie B's Deep Dives last night, I was talking to Doug, right? And he said that he would love to come back on and do another interview with us. And I said, of course. He told me, tell Phil that he was on an episode of Deep Space Nine.
Oh, he was. Oh, I'm gonna have to look this shit up.
Mm-hmm. He said he was. He said, he said, I won't get into it with nobody. I'll talk about it when we get on there with Phil.
Well, that is good to know. We'll definitely have to break down his experience out on Bajor. I have to look this shit up.
100%, 100%. Yeah. So that's what I think. So yeah, listen, I think Kenny gonna fall and get killed too. The whole family wiped out. What do you think, Phil? Do you think that Kenny survives this whole thing in the end?
No, but I think he's an end game death. He's sort of one of our last deaths that he sacrifices something to make to let Boyd survive to take care of something big. I do think he will survive next season, but probably not the final season. I think he'll die saving Chrissy or saving Boyd, one of the two.
Yeah,
but he's dying. He's fucking dying.
I think he's gonna get got too. I don't see. I mean, listen, his whole family's been got. They wipe out the whole family. It's tragic. It makes you think that he's going to be the last survivor. It really does. But to me, that's too cliche to do that. So I would think that they would have to eventually take Kenny out. You know what I mean? Maybe he gets ass before he gets out, but not the ass that I want. So listen, there's a lot of girls in there for him. The eye patch chick is in there. Why can't he mess with some of them chicks? And there's other hot chicks that they show, like that one dude who was there, who they were interrogating. That chick he was with was why can't he hit that? Why you gotta mess with my chick for?
Well, she's messing with him, Tony, because I think she sees him. The question is, just to be all jokes aside about the Kenny and her thing, it's how much is she actually like Kenny, or how much is she using him as a chess piece against Boyd, thinking he's the only one that will, everyone might follow if she tries to do a coup over Boyd. And she's just kind of playing him, doing a honeypot sort of situation. I don't know how much she actually likes Kenny and how much she's sort of playing Kenny and picking him out as a mark and kind of manipulating him against Boyd. I don't know. So you might not be in trouble, Tony. I don't know if she really likes that dude.
Yeah.
I don't think she likes that dude, Tony.
I hope not, man. I'm getting on that set, bro. I'm getting on the set and I'm flexing biceps. I'm coming at you.
Tony's in the gym right now, Kenny. Where are you? Kenny?
I'm in the gym every day, baby. I'm here every day. I'm waiting. I'm going to the gym, and when I'm not on the gym, I'm working out at home with my equipment. So yeah, I'm there every day. I'm getting in shape here and stuff. He's not putting those jiu-jitsu moves on me, man. That's right. You bastards killed Kenny.
They're gonna kill Kenny.
They got like that.
They're gonna kill Kenny.
Yes, they better. God damn it, they better. They better. We're dealing with the man in yellow because that is what the topic. All these things that we talk about go around the man in yellow because it all comes back to him. In the end, when Doug Hughes talked about the character, the man in yellow, he said that how it was explained to him how the guy came up with the character, the man in yellow. He said that he was driving the showrunner. He said that he was driving through LA and he seen the guy in a yellow suit. And he said the guy was snazzy. Happy.
Was it a Curious George book? I'm sorry.
I don't know. This is his story. This is what he said. So the guy was happy, dancing around. He was all about, and he noticed him in the yellow suit that he was so happy. Then he said, like some years later, he just happened to see the same guy, and the suit was fucked up. The suit was dirty, and the guy was just down and out. And then he asked himself, how did this guy go from one spot to the next spot in a matter of years? And I think that's telling about this character. If he based this character on that guy, then I think we have to assume that at one point the man in yellow, and when we see the picture of him that was drawn or painted by Victor's wife Miranda, he's in the snazzy suit. There's no dirt on that suit. The suit's clean, crisp and clean. But when he comes through here, the suit is dirty. So it could be a situation with him where he got conned and tricked too, just like the other monsters in there. And that's how he got to this spot. What do you think?
I think that you could be onto something with that, Tony. I think the thing I'm almost positive of is that at some point next season, and it might even be the first episode of next season, we're going to get a story of who he is. We're going to get some sort of full backstory, similar to Game of Thrones when we see the foundation of the White Walkers. I do think we're going to get some sort of date back flashback of how he became what he was. And that might be a very perfect thing to kind of show that he came in there with all this energy or all this optimism that eventually got turned around and turned him into this manipulated force. Maybe he didn't start off as one of the quote unquote bad guys, and we kind of see what turned him into that. So many shows do episodes like that show you the multiple sides of how someone actually became the person they are. And great one is in BoJack Horseman with his mother. You see she's like a horrible mother, and then they finally give you an episode that shows you why she became a horrible mother. And I think we might see something with him, Tony, where we see him fall from grace like that. And I think you've always been on those drawings as being a map for what we're going to see, and that different drawings, some by Victor, some by Miranda, some by some other things that we've just seen along the way. But I do think that the drawings could dictate that maybe there was a high point for him at one point where his yellow jacket shined bright.
And his hair was black then too in that picture. Like he's got black hair. Now his hair's grayed out.
Yeah,
right?
now it's like my beard.
So at that point, whenever she had that vision of him in her head and she drew that painting, he was sharp, right? He was sharp. He was sharply dressed. His hair was nice. It was slick. It was dark. And now all of a sudden when we see him, the man's hair is gray. His suit is fucked up. His cheeks are sunken. His teeth.
He looks like me on a Tuesday.
So I think that he may have been a victim also. I know it seems like he's the CEO, is how Doug explained it, of these monsters. And he might be the boss of the monsters. But I do believe there is someone above him. I don't think he's the big bad of this all. I think he may have been corrupted himself, and that's why he's forced to do what he does.
You think he's the general, not necessarily the king, so to speak. There's someone giving him order. He's the errand boy. He's Charles. But at the beginning of The Golden Child, Charles Dance's character, when he went up to like a higher mafia guy and he was doing his bidding, whatever.
Yeah, he's not Noomsy. He's not Noomsy. He's not Noomsy. No, he's not that. He's not Charles Dance. He would be, Game of Thrones wise, he would be the Hound, or he would be the Mountain. All right. He would be, he'd be the Mountain, but he's not Cersei. He's not Tywin. There's a Tywin, there's a Cersei behind them and stuff.
Hugh, I love this show and I have an affinity for the show, and I might at times like certain things better, but what is a better show? Severance is a better show.
Well, I haven't seen Severance. What's better from a Severance? All right, so I can explain it like this, and
they're both great. They're both great shows in what they do.
This is how I explain. This is the way I like to do it, and I'll explain it to you like this. Severance is a filet mignon dinner, or Kobe beef steak, a Kobe dinner, or Wagyu steak, right? You go out there and you can have that and you feel good. You go up, you dress up, you eat, and you have a good time. From is a good bowl of cereal. A good bowl of cereal, you can eat it in the morning, you can eat it in the afternoon, you can eat it at dinner. You're never not happy to have that good bowl of cereal. You know what I mean? So it's you got to choose. Like, you can eat that. It's more digestible to eat that good bowl of cereal. You can constantly eat it more than you can eat that steak and everything else, right? So I think of it like that. They're both good in their own way, And I had this thing about cereal. You know what I mean? I had this debate Phil the other day, real quick. I want to tangent real quick. And I told people that Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the greatest cereal ever made. And people debated it with me. What do you think? Put it in the chat. What's the greatest cereal ever made? Phil, what's the greatest cereal ever made? Man?
I mean, what's my favorite or what's the greatest? I think a lot of times people get into the problem of having that conversation. I think from the people that are, it's hard to argue with Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It has the most flavor. People can kind of just eat handfuls of it. I don't particularly love it, but I know how many people love it and in the ranking system. And what can you really compare to it? The only other one I would sort of bring to the conversation, I mean, I know there's the Captain Crunch, but that does cut the roof of your mouth. But the way that makes the milk, yeah, it does. With the way it make it milk, it creates the greatest milk taste. I guess the argument would probably be Lucky Charms because you got those damn marshmallows in there. But and it mixes both of them. Like, you know, you have the cereal stuff, but the flavor is so pronounced on Cinnamon Toast Crunch that it's kind of hard to fight it. My favorite is fucking whole grain total and milk. But my favorite of all of those is Captain Crunch. But I think the two to beat are Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Lucky Charms. Like those
I
two.
think Captain Crunch is fucks your mouth up too much, and it's only good with the crunch berries.
Yeah.
When you have the crunch berries, it adds different. Now, listen, you can eat Captain Crunch dry as hell. That's a great sense.
Yes.
It's very sweet.
Yes. And it's good with ice cream. It's good with
but the crunch berries puts it over the top, right?
Tony, I'm also a big fan. Crunch berries are over the top. I'm also a big fan of fruity of Cocoa Pebbles and Cocoa Rice Krispies, like for chocolate. If I'm going to go chocolate, it's one of those two because they're just good and easy to digest. But all in all, I think if we're doing the sort of tier system, I think Cinnamon Toast Crunch is definitely S tier. It's top of the line. There's no argument.
Yes. All right, we won't go on a tangent anymore. But yeah, so that's the way I see it. You know, so when that's the difference between the two shows. Severance, you really got to pay attention. You do got to pay attention, and From too. You'll miss stuff. But Severance, it's like a job sometimes.
Yeah, I think From is more comparable to Yellow Jackets. Even though they're different shows, that's more one for one. I think Severance is almost a different thing altogether. It's like a different conversation.
It's a job. Your eyes are darting all over the screen trying to.
Dude, I can only watch like 1 or 2 episodes at a time. Like when I tried to catch up, it took me so long to catch up the season because I could only watch episodes in one burst, or my brain sort of like zones out a little bit. From I can just binge back and forth. Yellow Jackets is just ridiculous in all the best ways. It's just ridiculous. It's like hilarious, ridiculous.
Especially this last episode. You watch it up to date?
Oh yeah. We got to do a show that we talk about 3 or 4 different shows because I also watch Invincible, and I want to talk to you about this season of Invincible.
All right, yeah, let's live stream. Let's plan live stream for Yellow Jackets and also do.
We could do like a roundup show. And we'll stream on both channels, and we'll talk about like all 3 Severance. But we can cut it up into short pieces if we want to post it and show like that.
All right, yeah, we'll definitely do that. We'll get that done. We'll add that. All right, Grapes Nuts is the worst cereal now. King Vitamin is the worst cereal of all time ever made. It's the most.
What the fuck is King Vitamin?
Cereal ever made.
Nintendo cereal was pretty fucking bad.
King Vitamin is this. There's nothing listen, bro.
What is King Vitamin?
Compares to King fucking Vitamin.
I never even heard of
it. See, it's the guy. This King. That's the worst cereal ever fucking made. Is King.
Oh my god, the King. He looks like the dude from the Brady Bunch, like the fucking the cartoon King. What the fuck?
You see, Debbie knows it too.
Dude, who is this guy? I wouldn't eat cereal from this guy. I wouldn't buy anything from this dude. Look at this dude. He's sketchy as shit. I'm gonna pull him up in a second. This dude. Would you buy cereal from this sketchy bastard?
That's the worst cereal.
Tony, what do you think you get at the end of King Vitamin's treasure hunt? I don't want to know. I don't want to know what I get.
I don't even look at that box and brings back. I remember one time I begged my mother to buy this cereal. Like I cried in the store. I lost my mind. You know, tantrum, falling, everything. So my mother bought the cereal. She gets a bowl of this thing. I sit at the table. I take 1 spoonful. I spit it right back. And she was like, "You're not getting up this fucking table until you eat that whole bowl. You begged me to buy." And she took a picture of me. I fell asleep at the table. with my face next to the bowl because I just refused to eat it and I just slept there on this cake.
With this sketchy bastard looking at you, you're gonna finish me, Tony. Tony, you know you're gonna finish me. You bottomless bastard. You're gonna finish me.
What a terrible cereal cake fucking vitamin. But grape nuts is definitely up there too. When I shut up with that and everything. All right, we're going back to From. Sorry about the tangent and everything else. All right, back to
It's
From.
the off season. It's the off season.
It is. So when we look at this scene, and I had a little conversation about this, and it goes into the time travel situation when it's all done. We see, and this is my take on it, and Phil can give his take, and anyone in the comment wants to, you could do that too. When he kills Jim, that is not the first time Jim is dead when we see it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because Julie is there. I think the first time he kills Jim, Julie's not there. It's just him and Jim. And then he kills Jim. The time that we see is Julie time traveling. And then that's a different time that he kills Jim. Now, the loop is going on because he's still killing Jim. But it's not the first time. Now, people have especially last night, was tried to come on and say that, no, every time he kills Jim, Julie is there. And I don't believe that to be true at all. Because when she comes through, she says, Dad, I think I got the right time. I think this is where it happens. So she's already aware of him being dead. That's what made her time travel to begin with and try to save him at this particular time. How do you think that they're handling the time travel? Because if it's not that way, and it's the way that people tried to argue with me about, and Doug himself said he thinks it's the other way, and he has no knowledge because he just got in the show and stuff and everything. That's more of a Groundhog Day type of time travel, and I don't think they're doing a Groundhog Day time travel situation. What do you think, though?
I mean, I think one very important thing the receipt that you just put up is what I was thinking before you said it. It's what Julie says is, I think I found the right thing. So she's been actually looking for him. So she was not there every time. She couldn't have been if she was looking for him. Otherwise, she would never be looking. She'd just have him there right away. So I do think she was sort of trying to dial in the right time, 12 Monkeys time travel, where I don't know specifically that, but in that vein of like, it's not an exact science of when she's trying to figure out where to leap in, or quantum leap even. It's not an exact science to like leap into the right spot, and that she's searching, playing the Rolodex, and maybe she hasn't got there in time, showed up right after he died a few times, showed up and so she's trying over and over again to try to make it happen, almost like Hiro Nakamura on trying to save Charlie. Any of you masochistic Heroes fans out there might know what I'm talking about. But I do think it is something like more what you're talking about, rather than Julie is there every single time in every timeline, that's that moment, and it's always Julie being there. Otherwise, her line doesn't make sense, Tony. Like, if that's the case, then why would she go, oh, I finally found you, I think I'm in the right spot, I think now's the time? I mean, that to me gives it all away right there in that little sentence. Maybe I'm being pedantic, or maybe I'm being too quick to kind of grab the exact words there, and I'm all looking deeper into it, like everything has to be super deep. But I for me, it's pretty obvious. She's been looking for him to stop this, and she just found him, right? Like, I don't know. Yeah. That's my 100%.
Take. And we also, and you're right, man. And she also says, before this all happens, Ethan, I can go back. I could save Kenny's mom. I could do these things. So it's in her mind to do it. And Ethan shoots it down and says, no, you can't change the story, right? But that's in her mind.
Right. And I think a lot of people are holding on to. And Tony, I think a lot of people are holding on to that. I think a lot of people are holding on to that. I think my signal's a little off for a second. What Ethan says right there, like everyone say, a lot of people I've seen that are saying, oh, Ethan says you can't change the past, so you can't change the past. Why do we believe Ethan in that moment? Is Ethan the all-seeing sayer that everything he says is truth? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not willing to kind of give Ethan that much credit or that much agency that if he says it can't be done, it can't be done. Or at least not think that Julie's going to at least try to do it over and over again. I don't know.
Exactly. It doesn't. Ethan has some things that he says that are right, but I don't think he's right about everything. Again, he's looking at it as a storybook. He's looking at it as a child's perspective, right? Maybe that's what he thinks. Maybe he believes you can't change it. Doesn't mean that's not what happens, right? He may believe, yeah, you can't change the story, but doesn't mean he's right, right? It doesn't mean he's right. Now, she didn't change the story. Jim still died at this particular time, but that's because Jim's stubborn, right? Now, if someone else goes back with her and says, Dad, this is what it is, and Jim says, what? And they knock Jim unconscious and they drag his ass away, then you have changed the story at that particular time. So it all depends. What up, Trez? What up, Nino? He says, good to see you. Adrian Gomez says, Man in Yellow, maybe the show was connected to H.P. Lovecraft. I don't think that it is. I don't think that they may have drawn elements from that or been influenced by it. I mean, I gave you the backstory that the showrunners gave about exactly how they feel. Man, Phil, you put me on blast, bro. You can't just go out like that. Jesus Christ. But I think they gave you, that's how he created the character. I don't think he took it from the Yellow King or whatever it is from H.P. Lovecraft. If you want to see Lovecraft stuff, watch Lovecraft Country. I mean, it's in the title. It's a great show. Probably the top 3 shows that shouldn't have ever been canceled is Lovecraft Country. I would say Lovecraft Country, Rome shouldn't have been canceled. Lovecraft Country and Fast Forward should never have been canceled, in my opinion. These shows that were canceled way prematurely. So when I look at it, I think they may have drawn, and I think they may have drawn from a lot of things, even Norse god things when it comes to the ruins themselves. But I do not believe we're going to see Thor pop up in this motherfucker. I don't think we're going to see Odin come down in here and everything else. I don't think it's that complicated with that at all. I think it's something else that is going on with this show and everything else. You know what I mean? And it's as Tamara said, yes, Lovecraft Country is better than anything H.P. Lovecraft. I feel you on that 100%, my girl. I haven't seen you in a long time, Tamara. Great to see you. OW Lovecraft Country. It truly was. That fucked my channel up when I got canceled. My channel was doing very well before that show got canceled. That show was still on. I probably have 200,000 subscribers right there. I'm gonna tell you a funny thing about that. Go through this real quick about when I was covering that show. When I covered that show, and I was covering it, and I came in. That's when I was doing yellow circles and everything on my stuff when I was covering that show. That's the same time that Heavy Spoilers came out with his stuff, and he was doing yellow circles also with that. And he took off on that show. And that show, if he was real about it, is what really blew his channel up, what got his channel started and going in the right direction to where he's taking it far, he's taking it huge, and he's done a great job with it and everything else, and he's done a great thing. But it was Lovecraft Country that really started blowing his channel up and stuff. And it was weird because I was just watching the channel and I was trying, and his views were far more surpassing mine and everything else. Had the same exact looking thumbnails and all that and everything. And I was just like, wow, this dude from Great Britain is getting more views about a political situation about black people that my family actually been through and lived through. And I really thought that was weird because most of the views obviously were coming through black people, and I just thought it was weird. And then I tried to get with a female black woman to jump on her show to do a live stream together. And Shorty said to me, "You're not invited to the barbecue," was the words that she said to me. And that's
she actually said, she acted like that's a quote.
Yeah, that's a quote. You're not
Oh, wow.
invited to the barbecue, is what she said to me. And that was that. So that's what made me like, God damn, that's what made me really upset. And that hurt me really bad to my core, because I was like, man, black people ain't even trying to fuck with me, you know what I mean, on a black show and everything else. And
Yeah.
I got mad more subscribers and getting more views and everything else. And it was just like, this is just black people just hurt each other all the time. I was like, black people just hurt each other all the time. And Tamara Chase, you know who the chick is. You know exactly who she is and her long nails. I'm not gonna say her name or anything like that, but you know who she is. You know exactly who that chick is who said that. But yeah, that's why are we all the way up on the top. Is this my screen is not on the
No,
bottom?
we're in the middle. We're in the middle.
We're in the middle, all right. For some reason my screen is like I can't see. It's like you all the way in the top. Whatever. I ain't fucking with it because something will mess up and everything else. But
yeah, they definitely did an update that's weird that messed everything up a little bit.
Yeah, so that's what happened there with Lovecraft. But that's what blew up his channel. But anyway, back to our show and everything else that we're doing there and everything else we're rocking with and stuff. All right, so yeah, I don't believe the man in yellow is that. I believe that the time travel, he has been coming back. He's been coming back, and you know what I mean? Who is this motherfucker? Who's called Uncle Phil? Oh, Uncle Phil.
Uncle Phil.
I thought he was talking to me like the Fresh Prince, bro. I got defended.
like calling you Uncle Phil. No, that people call me Uncle Phil. Like sit on my.
I got offended. I was like, wait a second.
No.
I lost my way here, motherfucker. What the fuck you calling me Uncle Phil for?
No, they're calling me the Shredder. I'm the Shredder, Tony, not you. I'm the Shredder. I'm Uncle Phil. I'm Uncle Phil.
I was like, wait a second here, goddamn it. I'm in the gym every goddamn day.
No one's confusing you with James Avery, Tony. No one's Pardon a horrible pun, except maybe he played the Shredder, and sometimes you could be called shredded, but that's the closest. That's horrible. That'd be the only way anyone would be referring to you as Uncle Phil.
Exactly. All right, so going on about our show front. So we look at the man in yellow, and we look at Julie in the time travel situation. Phil, I'll ask you, is it a bad idea for this show to introduce time travel? Now, again, when we look at time travel in this show, we've seen the rope go down, right? So we knew who threw the rope. That made sense. And that's the way they ran it. This with the man in yellow is not the same type of time travel that we've seen at that particular time. Do you think that they are messing up, or it's a bad mistake to do time travel on a show like this?
I mean, I think you're asking the wrong person. So what's Carlton Parker? Come on, Carlton, get out of here. Oh no.
What are you doing there?
Why is he popping up dancing? Someone mentioned his name. Amy mentioned his name in the chat, and he just pops up everywhere. I think time travel is precarious. It's one of those things, Tony, that can get overused and cannot work if not done right. Personally, in my entertainment shit, when it comes to time travel, I prefer it in comedy because I feel like it's a better place to kind of mess with it, whether it be Bill and Ted, Back to the Future, Hot Tub Time Machine, certain things when they develop it, when they try to take it too seriously and people start breaking down time travel, it gets confusing. But that's not to say they can't pull it off. I think Lost, for whatever it's worth, and I don't want to get into a whole Lost thing because I am a fan of Lost. I know someone inevitably is going to be like, oh, Lost fucked up something. Okay, they fucked up something. It was still a great fucking show, a lot of it. And past the first season. And they pulled off time travel one of the best ways I've seen it done in a show, taking it more seriously. They did have a sense of humor about it, but they did pull it off. I'm not saying they're going to do the same kind of time travel, but again, if we're going to say that this show has similar DNA, you know, Tony, it worries me a little bit just because it can be too, I have a question for you to reflect this off you. Do you want this whole show to turn into a time travel show?
I think that it's a cop out sometimes for
Yes.
when you
Yes.
don't have nothing planned. You can always say, well, time travel it back and make it better. All right. You can always do that. You can always, if you mess up somehow, you can always use that time travel card. Be like, time travel, bling, and it fix it and fix the mistakes you
Yeah.
may have ever had, you know. So that's why I don't like it. If it's done properly, then I love it. But that's what I'm afraid of. Not that they're gonna mess up, but the fact that we do know that they switch seasons and switch things around seasons and stuff like that. So it may be to the point right now that maybe they're going this route with it, they're going that route with it. They're not exactly sure, and maybe they're trying some things, and if it doesn't work, they could try and travel their way out of it. And I also think if it comes down to it, and it's like the end of the show is they try and travel back and prevent this whole thing from starting. To me, that sucks.
I
don't
hope
like
they don't go full there. And someone says, hey, now the whales. It was, but it was comedy. Endgame was good time travel, but it takes a few to kind of point them out that you can
it.
point out.
Endgame was good. Tenet was good.
Tenet was good.
That was a different time travel. Basically, seeing everyone go in reverse and everything else at the time of the time travel.
Yep.
12 Monkeys.
12 Monkeys was probably my favorite. I mentioned it a little earlier. I love 12 Monkeys.
They did a great job. Time travel is great. The Back to the Future, you know, that time travel where you go if you know you don't exist, if certain things don't happen and all that.
Tony, I hate to say it, I hate it in Game of Thrones. I fucking hated time traveling Bran. I thought it sucked. I thought the way it was perceived on screen, or the way I perceived it on screen was lame. I didn't like it. God bless young Hodor. We met him. He's a cool guy. I'm glad he got to be on the show. And I liked the whole concept of him traveling back and fucking with Hodor. The way it was pulled off on screen, I thought didn't really work.
Yeah, it didn't work. I think in a way in the books, you know, when you knew it was coming when the whispers came and then Ned turned his head in the book and it was just the wind. You knew that was going to be an effect. They were going to do it. In the show, it just was not pulled off properly to me. Now, listen, people will say that the hold the door thing broke their heart, right?
Yep.
And
no, I mean, that was a good moment. The hold the door thing was good. Part of it was done well. I just don't think Bran, it's more the Bran time traveling and talking to Ned and all of that stuff. The Hodor thing kind of, they pulled it off all right. But if that's all it was, but then, you know, earlier than that, it's him Ned talking to the wind and all of that. I don't want to get into the whole Game of Thrones thing. It just didn't work. Most of Bran didn't work for me, but that's a different conversation altogether, Tony.
Yeah, I agree with you on this, on everything that we were saying here. Who's Doug? It says, what up, Doug? Who's Doug in this place?
I think the dog. I think I was trying to say the dog.
Oh, your dog.
the giant television dog next to my face right here. How's it going,
Yeah, so it's a sketchy thing. Again, I think that you're going to see it with the tent. I think Julie and them are the ones who pulled the tent. You're going to see that go down with the tent. I think you're going to go see the time travel with the monster when he came on there and said, Julie, you don't remember me? I think that monster, that's going to be a time travel situation. And again, when we look at the whole Man in Yellow, and we look at these people, the monsters, and the clothes that they're wearing, the Man in Yellow's clothes doesn't link up with their clothes. He looks like he's rocking a 60s, 70s zoot suit.
Yeah.
Compared to their 50s type milkman outfits and everything.
Yeah, he's got the Leisure Suit Larry thing going on.
Yeah, what a game that was.
yeah. And the lounge lizards. That was some of the first bad stuff I saw in my life, Tony. Was in that video game. I was like,
without a shadow of a doubt. Leisure Suit Larry. My father used to play that shit, man. All right. My dad was big into video games. My dad loved video games. He used to take us to the arcade and tell my mother, I'm taking the boys to the arcade. This is before my sister was born. And my mom was like, oh, you're such a great dad, taking the boys to the arcade. And he would give us $10, rolls of quarters a piece. And then he'd just go play asteroids and just be off. Just doing this thing. He'd just leave us. And he'd just be there playing asteroids. And every video game system I ever got when I was little was not for me. It was always for him. But he convinced my mother it was for us. But every time he came home, he couldn't play because he was always on it, that motherfucker. He was playing everything and stuff.
My first video game system my mother got, and I was like, I'm gonna play Pac-Man, and she's like, we'll get Pac-Man. She got Super Breakout because she wanted to play Super Breakout with the little paddle thing. And like, I never touched for the first 2 years that thing was there. I didn't fucking touch that thing once. And she's like, finally, like 2 years later, she's like, you want to get a paper route and get Pac-Man? I was like, you thought you're gonna get me Pac-Man? She's like, oh, we're playing Breakout. Shut up. You know.
Sorry, back was serving bowls of dinner. Dinner bowls. Were you at home or you out doing something else, Amy? When you serving dinner bowls, are you volunteering at a spot or are you serving dinner bowls at your house and stuff? N64 is probably one of the greatest systems ever made. It was very underrated. N64 is the first time we have an actual open world game. Was from the N64. Which
both
was
with like Ocarina of Time and Super Mario 64 and those.
Yeah, the Mario was the first game that wasn't 2D, that you could actually go backwards and forwards and everything else. That was Mario 64. That was the first game that you could ever do that. It was also the first one with the small joysticks on the controller, and it was also the first one with the rumble pad, the adaptation that you could have.
Yeah, the rumble pack that rumbled in the back, and you have to have those big memory cards. Did you ever play a game on the Nintendo 64 called Conker's Bad Fur Day?
I never played that.
It was made by Rare, the same people that did Bond and Perfect Dark and all the best N64 games that weren't made by Nintendo. Conkers is a comedy game, Tony. It's like
Perfect Dark was amazing.
Perfect Dark was, a lot of people go to Bond because it's more iconic, but Perfect Dark perfected everything that they did in Bond. It's a little slicker, it's a little like tighter around the edges. Smash Brothers.
That Bond Perfect Dark game started all this online co-op playing
because of that you have Halo, and because of that all those games that are super popular right now. Fortnite is because of fucking Bond and what people were doing.
GoldenEye was the game, and all because of that. All these games that you have is all because of that. Because before you had that was the only system you could put 4 controllers in at the time, play 4 split screens on the screen, and play it and everthing else.
Mario Kart was also really huge at that time, and Smash Brothers for games that you could play 4 at once and then battle on. Mm-hmm. The Mario Party games came out at that stage too. Star Wars. Wasn't a 4-player, but Star Wars Pod Racing initially came out, which was a really good Star Wars game.
I got that. My daughter was very young. I was living in Far Rockaway. I got the game, and I remember I got Turok the Dinosaur Hunter.
Oh yeah, Turok. Yep.
And I remember playing that game and specifically saying, "There's no way graphics can get any better than this."
Yeah. No, I remember that. And another thing, Tony, that Nintendo 64 has that's underrated that a lot of people realize, it has some of the best wrestling games ever made too. The WWF game, like it has features that the newer games don't have. Like a lot of people still go back and there's servers that people are still playing. Some of the pro gamers and shit are playing some of the WWF and WCW games, especially this one.
NWO wrestling game is probably the greatest one of all time. Dita, thank you so much for the gifted Teflon TV memberships, the 5. Truly appreciate that, brother. It really helps out. I really mean that when I say it really helps out. It truly, and anyone who just got a membership from Dita, please give him a shout out and a thanks, because I can't see it right now in the thing and everything.
Oh,
but since we're talking about that.
Oh, just swing this back. Do you think there could be a From video game?
You could do it. It depends how. I think that if you did it in the style of Telltale games, Game of Thrones. Remember the Game of Thrones Telltale?
Oh yeah, no, I played all the Telltale games. The Game of Thrones one, the Walking Dead one.
You could do a From game like that.
I think you could also do a VR experience game where you're in From Town and you have to survive a night in From Town, but that would take a lot. That would take a lot more stuff. I wouldn't mind seeing a Telltale game like that. I love games like that. The story. I'm actually pissed that we didn't get a second season of the Game of Thrones one. I wanted to see where House Forrester went.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how Telltale games went under, but that game to me was.
They're back, but they couldn't. They lost the money for
the account.
Yeah, they lost the.
I would love to see that House Forrester. That was a really good game. I thought
it really was. I still play it every once in a while. It's a real. It actually really was good.
Yeah, so I'll say so. Look, we'll just say this real quick. Let me just get this out because y'all my people and everything and all that. So I'll say it and get this out and everything. So I remember I told y'all guys that I came on the stream. I got offered the job and everything else, and I decided to turn the job down so that I can do YouTube and try to focus on becoming a full-time YouTuber. Well, after I turned the job down, I wind up getting fired.
Oh, that fucking sucks.
So right now I'm unemployed.
Welcome to the party, pal. Welcome to the party.
So that is why I have not been on in a while and stuff, you know, trying to figure things out and everything else just like that, you know, and got into beef with my daughter who told me to accept the job and I didn't. Now she's upset with me and this, that, and the other and all this other good stuff. So it's just been a very bad time and all that. So that's why I have not been on and everything else and all that good stuff. But that's what I've been dealing with and stuff. So yeah, listen, there is really not a reason I can't drop a video today because I ain't got a job, man, and everything else. You know what I mean? Yeah, Elon fired me. You're correct, Steve. Fucking Musk.
That bastard.
So when I say that these super chats do help out, I really mean it, that it does help out because, you know, we are above water. We got to stay above water and everything else. And we're going to keep going. We're going and see what we can do. And hopefully I'm just going to try to give it my best shot here before I'm forced to have to take another job. And hopefully I'm not to. So
yeah, Sonic has a good one. Lumen's taking applications, Tony.
Listen, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'm with it. I'm with it. As long as I gotta remember those motherfuckers at my job, because I don't remember this.
Can I work in?
Good.
I was just gonna say, can I work in Helly's department? But yes.
Well, it's fucked. You know what's funny? That these people that you work with, right, and you get fired, but then they find out, and all of them try to bombard you with calls. But I know what the calls are. I blocked everybody. Like I blocked it before I knew the calls were coming and everything else, and I blocked everybody. Because I know that the calls that come are, that's fucked up, man. How you doing, man? How's everything? They shouldn't have done that to you. You know, I already know those things. Like I don't need you to reiterate that stuff to me that I already know is true, right? So
they're gonna be in your face like this, Tony. They're just be, hey, it sucks. I'm sorry.
And it's really just they want gossip to go back and talk to people about and everything else. So it's just really. I just like to cut ties and cut breaks and everything else. And, you know, if I ever see you, I'll see you and I'll talk to you then. But if I don't, then I just like I didn't see you before I had that job. I don't plan on seeing you again. And that's just what it is. So, yeah, that's what happened. That's what I've been dealing with and stuff. And that's why the videos have not been out there and the live streams haven't been out there and I haven't been doing everything. But I was trying to figure this stuff out. But we're going to do our best to figure it, get through it and everything else. And, we're gonna, as I said, I have no excuse not to drop a video every day. So I'm gonna, and it's a weird situation. Like when you deal with a channel like mine and Phil's, what I think that people don't understand is it's not like a Mr. Beast channel or other people's channels like this. And I'll explain to you real quick how the YouTube algorithm works, so you understand what's going on. So it doesn't matter if you have 100,000 subscribers. 10,000 subscribers. It really doesn't matter. It only matters to when you get to like 250,000 and all that. So what happens is that when YouTube puts your videos out, they first put your videos out in front of your subscribers. That's the first day your video gets released to all your subscribers. And it depends on how many subscribers watch it that the next phase actually happens. Now, when you have like 200,000, 50,000 subscribers, you got to figure that at least 10,000 of those people will watch anything that you put out, right? So when you see channels with these huge subscriber counts like that, and any video that they do for any show breaks through, it's because they have that initial push for the show. And then that is what pushes it out to the other people. Now, in a place like channel like mine, though I have 100,000 subscribers and everything else, it doesn't matter if I put out a Yellow Jackets video. I've never done Yellow Jackets, and the algorithm doesn't know me for Yellow Jackets. And my subscribers are like, well, I'm here for From. I don't want to watch that Yellow Jacket video. Then it gets 500 views. Then YouTube says, well, this video is not good. So they don't push it out. They do the second day it's out there. they'll go out there and they'll try it around
Yeah, they'll
different
test it
people.
out to other
They'll
people.
test it on the second day. But if it doesn't get picked up then the video is a dud. And that's usually how it goes. So when you see people break out for shows that they just started, usually you'll see the breakout happen in the second day. And they put it out there, and then if it gets tested and it works and everything else. But the reason why other channels that are bigger and they can get views for every video, doesn't matter whatever comes out, is because they have all those subscribers and they have people that just watch for them and they'll watch anything that they put up there. So that's it. So like every time I do a new show, it's like I'm starting my channel from scratch. With no subscribers. It's like I'm starting from scratch every time. So that's why a lot of my videos on these new shows I never covered before don't get any views and everything else. So that is how YouTube actually works.
Yeah, that's why in a situation, if Tony and I right now, like if I put out an Invincible or Yellow Jackets video the same day he did, I probably would have like 900 views or 800 views in difference. And he has 100,000 subscribers and I have like 16,000. It shouldn't work that way, but that's how YouTube is, because to them, we're both the first. It's our first time doing a video on that particular subject. It's why when Better Call Saul came out and when it finally became big, I still got like 50,000, 40,000 views a video and shared 10,000 views a video, even though I was small compared to those big channels because I'd been covering it from the beginning. So the YouTube algorithm knew me for Better Call Saul. But at the same time, if I did, a new show at that time, it's like, oh no, you're new, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
it's weird.
You'll get 50 views and stuff.
50
and
views. I did like the Mighty Ducks or something stupid and I got like 50 views on it or something, It's
and I know these other channels, I've heard them like taking shots at me and shit. People have come back to me and everything else and talking like, oh, they have 100,000 subscribers and only getting this amount of views. That's my nightmare. That's my nightmare. I wish that never happens to me. Well, listen, you'll get a reality check if you ever can reach 100,000. So you'll get the reality check when it comes.
Yeah,
and then you'll see what happens and stuff like that. It's not like a niche. If I stayed just doing one thing, listen, I say like my brother Bridge Force, my brother Love Bridge, right? He'll be the first one that told you. I told him never to stop doing Game of Thrones video. I told him don't do it, just stay on Game of Thrones. But he wanted to do Succession and other things on that channel and stuff, and he lost the algorithm for his Game of Thrones stuff. And the guy has almost 200,000 subscribers. And if you look at the views he gets, you wouldn't think that would be it. But when you lose the algorithm, you lose the algorithm. That's just the way it is, And I haven't seen Bridge make a new video in almost a year now because of it and everything else.
He'll be back for Dunkin' Egg. I know.
He better be. He better be. And stuff. So, yeah, it just happens. That's just the way it is and stuff like that. So, it all comes down to, in the end, just success. They can say whatever they want, the videos, this, that, and the other. And it's funny because the dude who plays Captain America right now, Anthony, what's his name?
Anthony Mackie, right? I think it's
he
something
came
Mackie.
out, and he just said straight up, he was just like, yo, doesn't matter how hard you work or this, that, success is given. And people have to know that. It doesn't matter on any field that you're in, how hard you work or anything. You could be worked the hardest and do anything. In the end, success is always given. And he's 100% right. And people are trying to slam him, say, no, you go to school, you could work hard. It doesn't matter. Everybody's working hard. It's just given. If you're given the shot to succeed, you can succeed. Whether you're an actor, a YouTuber, NFL player, NBA player, whatever it is. In the end, a lot of people are as good as a lot of people, but you have to be given that chance, and that's how you get success. And just gotta hope, and people pick who they want to pick. Just like you guys out here, y'all are basically the bosses of my channel and everything. I'm only going to be successful if y'all allow me to be successful. It doesn't matter how great my thumbnails are, how good my videos are. It's really up to you. I really don't have anything I can do. All I can do is put that stuff there, and that's the end of it.
Except sometimes you get random things. You get smart and you jump on something at the right time. Like, you put out a video on the Super Bowl thing, or me with the Emmys before my video got blocked. Sometimes, you just hook on to the right thing and you get like a good burst video. Those same people that are complaining or giving you shit should look at your channel. So you have a fucking close to 200,000. That one video you did like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, that's fucking shot up in like a day. You got like 100,000 views in a day. So it's all a fucking crapshoot.
Yeah, so no, that's just the way it is. All right, let me get a drink, Phil. You hold the
Yep.
fan real quick. Let me get this next bill.
Okay. Yeah. Back to Captain. They said, okay, there is something I'm looking for right now. I saw a post, but I don't know if it was spoilery or not spoilery. I don't know if it was bullshitty or not, that said that the original guesstimation that it would be back in 2026 was not exactly right, that it might be back towards the end of 2025. I'm going to try to find the thing in a second here. I have been MIA for a bit. Just to tell my quick thing, I did a video where I was doing a live reaction to the Saturday Night Live 25th anniversary special, and I got flagged, and my channel got suspended, and I got suspended for a couple of weeks off YouTube. So that's where and then it kind of disenchanted me for a second. I'm like, I wasn't even sharing it. You know, it wasn't like I was showing it on a picture, and but whatever, blubbity blubbity. I got a beer, no shots through cheers. Take everyone, whatever you're grabbing, whatever you're drinking, get it in your hand and toast that shit. I'm riding for Kenny to get that ass. Carla, you know, not Tony's not here. Let me tell you some, Carla.
I'm back.
Oh, fuck Kenny. Fuck Kenny. I hope he gets
God damn it.
Doesn't get anything.
Fuck Kenny.
I'm rooting for Carla to show up on From and take Kenny on a special date.
Let Carla do it. Let her be the one.
That's what I'm saying. Let's send Carla there. Carla, you want Kenny?
Carla be the one. God damn it. He don't deserve that much booty. It's too much booty for Kenny, man.
Kenny.
He don't deserve that much. You don't want to handle that. You gotta know how to handle that shit. You know what I mean? You don't deserve that shit. You don't want to handle that. You got to know how to run that. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. I know how to run it.
I gotta see if I find this. I saw some post, Tony, that said it was like a From thing, and I took a screenshot, but I need to find it. It was let me see if I can find it. But it was speculating that From would be out in 2025, not 2026.
Yeah, if they start shooting in June, I think 3 months to shoot a television show. How much long can they shoot? This is not a show that has extensive CGI. You know what I mean? Where it take a year to do the CGI. I think they could get the CGI done quick. Phil, what are you haunting me with that, man?
Sorry, wrong one.
And everything, right? And you see in the picture, he's not even eating that shit himself.
He's like, eat my cereal. Come on, kids.
Right.
I didn't put anything in it, I swear.
Yeah. And also, so people have asked about the FromCon. Obviously, my job situation does upset the whole FromCon. Not FromCon. Excuse me. We can't call it that. We're not calling it the FromCon. It is the two batch. Oh, the Teflon Con, right? Whatever you want to say, Teflon Con. It is upsetting, that whole situation, right? And everything else. So that has put a stop to, not stop to it, but it has.
Yeah, put a little damper on the situation.
Rethink things and stuff, because I've got to come out of my pocket a lot of money just to set it up, you know. And I mean, when I say a lot of money, I'm saying it's going to cost, like, in all honesty, it's going to cost like $3,500 to $4,000 to set it up.
Yeah,
right.
Tony, this is from a question and answer from the From creators, I guess. I don't have the receipts to back this up right now, but it says an interview with the creators from the series and From, in which they mentioned some shocking and very important points. The ending will not be a dream or a mental hospital, and the characters are not dead. Tabitha is not Victor's sister. The ending was written since the first episode. Watch it again. It's there. Season 4 will reveal everything. The season adopts a story of an ancient legend from historical myths, and we want to embody it because it has realistic facts. Monsters walk because they know the humans haven't found the secret to getting out yet, but they can run. And season 4 is coming at the end of 2025. I don't know how bullshit this is, but
let's go through that. Let's take it line by line if we can. Let's go through.
Absolutely. Let me see if I can get it on screen, but I'll send a picture to myself. But the first is the ending will not be a dream or a mental hospital, and the characters are not dead.
Yeah, so we know that. They said that themselves. They had Father Kotchery say it in the show. They had Tabitha ask the question, right? So no, they're not going to be in a hospital, not going to be there. Now, them saying that it's not a dream does not mean that it's not in the dream realm. He's saying that they're not asleep, dreaming when he says that, right? That's two different things than being stuck in a dream realm, actually just being asleep and it being a dream. So it could still be in a dream realm. Doesn't mean that someone's just dreaming this whole thing is what I think he's trying to say there. And they're going to wake up and none of this stuff happened. It was all just a dream. I think that's what he means by that right there. All right, what's next?
Tabitha is not Victor's sister.
Right, we everyone knows that. I don't know who still thought that, but for the people who did think that, all right, we know that that's not the case. All right, let's go.
The ending was written since the first episode. Watch it again.
All right, so you're saying to go back and watch the first episode, and you can see the ending in the first episode. So we will do a rewatch for the first episode. And we will see if the ending is in the first thing that he says. If it's there, we should be able to see exactly how the ending is there in the first episode. So, and I did not break up with Acosta, Sonic boy. Me and her getting married. All right,
it's
next.
just it's a matter of time. It's not if
it's gonna happen. Don't worry about it. You could solo that by yourself if you want, just so everyone can see it. They don't need to see me or anything like that. So you see, Phil? There you go. All right. What else are we seeing here? What's next? Next is
season 4. 4. We'll reveal everything.
We'll reveal everything. So to me, if that's the case, then I think what they're saying is that it's only going 5 seasons. What do you think, Phil?
Yeah. If everything comes into play and everything kind of finishes off and we get all the answers and then we just head into our end game, it does seem like the original speculation that we've both said several times that it's 5 seasons will be like leading into our final season there.
Yeah, hashtag Don Costa. And go put it on her page now on Instagram. Let her know.
And someone asked me what this from. It's just something I saw from Reddit from series, a post. I don't know how bullshit this is, but whatever. We're having fun tonight, so we'll indulge.
I ain't got a job, Craig. You ain't got no job.
Yeah, it's Saturday. You don't have shit to do. I mean,
you ain't got no job.
Go sell that weed, mother. Yeah, get out there and sell that bag, motherfucker. You know.
I don't want to go back to doing that. Hopefully,
no. Get your pride, put it through your legs, and go outside and make that video, Tony Teflon.
This is the most important thing I think we hear right here. The series adapts the story of an ancient legend from historical myths.
Yes.
And we want to embody it because it has realistic facts. That is the most important thing that is in this post.
And what in the hell does Tony? Explain this to me like I'm a child. What's going on here? I don't understand that exactly.
We would have to have Terry Matthew on here because this would be if you're saying historical myths, right? So this brings you to the Odin, and this brings you to the Greek myths and Odin myths.
Davy
and
Crockett,
things like that, and we want to embody it because it has realistic. So it has to be a myth that. All right, Amy, we'll be waiting for you to get back. It has to be a myth that is realistic in its nature. So you have if you could find a realistic myth,
Davy Crockett.
I mean. At my job, there was this fucking guy.
I'm kidding.
At my job, there was this fucking guy I used to go see and stuff, and his last name was Crockett. And I asked him, I said, "What's your first name?" He goes, "Dave." I said, "Damn, your parents really thought hard on that fucker."
I mean,
like they took time to come up with your name.
They start singing the song like right in. What are we gonna call the baby? What do you think we're gonna call the baby? David Crockett. I mean, you couldn't. Isn't it your job, Tony? If you have a kid named Crockett, you have 2 choices. You can either name him Davy or Stubbs. You know, one or the other. What if your last name's Crockett, Tony? You have two fucking choices. That's what I'm saying.
Steven says I was fired because I was stealing boxes. Boxes of what?
Oh, you're Craig. Did you get caught on camera stealing, Tony, like Craig?
No, I did not get caught on camera stealing crap. Not
How'd you get fired on your day off, Tony? No, I'm kidding.
On my day off. The next day was my day. I got fired the day before my day off. I got fired Tuesday, and my day off is Wednesday. So I got fired the day before everything else.
Fucking
all right, so season 4 revealed everything, so we know that this is only going to be 5 things. The series adapts a story of ancient legend.
Yeah. So ancient legend
ancient legend from historical myth. So the bottom line is this. When I look at this, there has to be something of this ancient legend in episode 1.
Yep.
So you would have to go back, rewatch episode 1, and look for a historical myth or an ancient legend that is in episode 1. It would have to be there in episode 1. And if it's in there, that is how you figure out how this thing is going to end when it's all said and done.
A couple people are asking.
When I get off this stream and I'm done, I'm going to go watch episode 1 again and look again. And I'm going to go and see what I can do.
A couple of people were asking what this is from. We're not claiming this is real. I saw this on fucking Reddit from series, and it says, I just grabbed it because I figured Tony and I could talk about it at some point. An interview with the creators of the series from in which they mentioned some shocking and very important points. I did not do my homework and fact check this, so we're playing the what if bullshit game. We're putting on our bullshit hats and we're accepting that it may be bullshit and just having fun talking about it. But that's where it's from. That's where I saw this. For if anyone's curious.
Yeah, ancient. It would if you any ancient myths. So that means the Norse god stuff is in play. Anything like that, you would have to say is in play. Now that to me isn't realistic facts in any Norse mythology and stuff like that as they claim it to be. But it's all in play. You have to go back and watch that. As for the last line, monsters walk because they know that humans have found their secret to getting. Haven't found the secret to getting out, but they can run. We've seen this happen with Miranda.
This person obviously watched the last episode. They're just reiterating what we actually saw in the last episode.
Yeah, we've seen that. It really is that. It's those two things. The ending was in the first episode, and the series adapts the story. And I always have told everyone, if you ever watch this channel, I have told you many a times that the ending is always in the first 2 episodes. In any show that you watch, it's always there. Any mystery box show, anything, it's you go back and watch episode 1 and 2, and it tells you how it's going to end. That's the way it's always is. But that is the George R. R. Martin's, the way he puts it out there in his books. He gives you the answers before you ask the questions.
It's like,
and that's why you never catch it, because the question hasn't been asked yet, but the answer has been there. And in fact, if you read my book, it's the same exact thing. The answer is there in the beginning of the book. It's there, but you won't know it until you reach the end. And when you read it back, you'll pick up on it.
And make sure you go to Amazon and pick up Tony's book.
Write and stuff like that.
Make sure you pick up Tony's book.
Yeah, please. Right now, I need your help. Pick up 20. Give them out to your whole family members and everything else.
Yeah, exactly. Christmas is coming, everybody, and I'm an affiliate, so I'll send you some affiliate links to so I'll get a little bit too. But I don't want to. Oh, fuck it. Block your ears for 2 seconds if you don't want to know the end of Lost. Lost very much begins with the same shot that it ends. Essentially, like the first shot that you see of Jack is a similar shot that you see at the end with him not getting up. So it's not the final shot, but it's basically the series wraps around to waking up with Jack and then going to bed with Jack and the dog at the end. So, again, it's in the first episode. There's a lot of shows that do that and circle it around. And yeah, so it would, one thing I do whether that's bullshit or not, and it could be a lot of bullshit, I do believe a couple things there just from being obvious stuff. I do think this show's going 5 seasons, and I think next year is when we're going to get all our answers.
It's the penultimate season. So, Sonic your boy, buy Tony's book and he'll do the milkshake dance for you. Listen, I'll do the helicopter dance for you, and if you on the private stream, goddamn, not you personally, Sonic. You ain't my boy like that. We ain't boys like that, motherfucker. You're my boy, but not my boy. Oh, that good stuff. Yeah. If anyone wants to share the link to the book, I would appreciate it. If it's in there, I would definitely appreciate it. Yeah, no, we don't did it here. You know what I mean? But if you are a guy and you're watching, I ain't hating on you. Go ahead, do your thing. Do your thing. Do your thing. Do your thing. Do what you got to do. That's what it is. You know what I mean? All right, I'm gonna be so mad if it's a Crossroads man. I gotta look now and see Crossroads. I mean, do they show train tracks in the first episode and everything else? I'm gonna watch it as soon as I get. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna watch it as soon as I get out of here, and I'm gonna go and start looking at it and see what I see exactly, and try to connect mythology from the first episode and stuff. And we'll see what it is and everything else and all that. Dita, no mental image. Don't be concentrating that hard, Dita. Don't go to those black strip clubs. Listen, man, I tell people all the time, the difference between black people and white people is black people are extra. And I swear to you, it's true. It doesn't matter in life about anything. That is, if you ever say, what's the difference between black people and white people? The truth of the matter is, and this is a black man telling you this, black people, we extra as a motherfucker. It doesn't matter what we do. We got to be extra on this motherfucker. It doesn't matter. If you see the white strippers, male strippers, the Thunder from Down Under, I don't know if Carlos ever went to see them. You know, they may give you a and a roll of the hips and a roll of the hips. And they may give you that. You go to a black strip club in Atlanta, these dudes is doing towel dances and shit. They're going to pick you up in the air, spin you around, throw you and everything else, catch you on their neck and shit. They going extra. When you see a black person, white guy, he may have a nice little gold chain on his neck. Black people coming out here looking like Mr. T, goddamn it. It doesn't matter. If you see a white person and they're playing basketball and they do a layup, no, black person, we can't just do a layup. We got to put it behind our back, put it between our legs, and then lay it up. And that's what it is. And that's the truth. But that is the truth. We are extra. We're extra on everything. And I love us for being extra. But that is the goddamn truth. And that's what Carlos says, I have not. You have not seen the Thunder from Down Under, and you live down under. Yeah, I would think that every woman out there goes sees the Thunder from Down Under. I would think that's what it would be. But maybe it's not. I guess it's like Chippendales up here. Not every woman has seen Chippendales up here. I guess maybe it's like the Thunder from Down Under are popular in the United States. I'm telling you, women
are all over Vegas and all those places. Yeah, but maybe that's what they're the commercial thing. It's like, you know, they're not, you know, like what the locals would actually go to.
Women are the worst at a strip club. Like, I don't care what anyone says. I had a friend, his name was he was a wrestler. He wrestled as like shock screen or something like that, something crazy. And I would go with him. I would go ahead. That's right, Red Lips. So we are extras. So you know it. You know it. It's the truth. I ain't lying about us. And he was a stripper, white dude. But he was a wrestler and stuff in the minor leagues and stuff. And I knew him and stuff. And I would go with him and like just watch the door or whatever and everything. Really just going to pick up the women there and shit. But you know, played it off like, yeah, I'm security or whatever. These women are fucking nuts. They are animals. Men could never get away with doing to women what women do to men in a strip club. Like it's not even close. It's not close whatsoever. There's no way a man can get away with doing what these women do to these men. Like, women lose their fucking mind. They really do. They really. That's why when I look at Yellow Jackets and I watch them, like, this is realistic. Because women, you get a pack of women together, they might eat your ass. They might. I'll be scared of those motherfuckers.
No
Like, you might
spoiler,
be
but
thinking like, oh, I'm the only man in the pack of but you know that might not be a good thing, man. You may want a couple other dudes around.
Tony, no spoiler for what happens at
No
the end of that last episode. Holy fucking shit! I'd be that dude walking up on that. What the fuck?
Yeah, listen, I lost confidence in the show. In all honesty, really, it was this episode that turned me back around on it and everything else like that. Kelly Johnson T. Thank you for the super chat. He says this turned to after. No, it's not. We're going back to topic. We're going back to how long we've been on it. If I can't see how long we've been on it.
Let's see. 125.
Yeah, we'll go about for 2 hours and then we'll be out. But no, it's not after that. We're going back to the topic. But we'll take Anna's question. I went to a black male stripper review. It's next level. They picked the biggest girl in the room and performed tricks, throwing her up and lifting. Just extra. This is what it is.
It's like Dirty Dancing. They do the lift.
Yeah, they do the lift.
They do the lift.
350, and they do it the lift. Like
and Tony, she had the time of her life.
She sure did. Goddamn.
Yeah, no one put her in the fucking corner, motherfucker.
Black people extra. Always remember that. All you people in chat, just remember that. Remember, I told you that. That's the difference. Anyone, there's no difference between black people. Genetically, physically, no. We extra though, mentally. Be extra. You gotta go all the way with it. And that's the way it is. You step on a white person's shoe, they might say, hey, buddy. Step on a black dude's shoe, he may shoot you. It's just extra. It's just extra. All right, we're going back on topic, dude. I'm sorry. I gotta stick to topic here. Back to From.
We're talking about strip clubs where guys wear yellow, right? No, From. Sorry, Tony.
Yeah, all right. Back to From and everything else. All right, so reading what we just read, Phil, do you feel confident that this ending that we get, in all honesty, from what we've seen in the show so far, is going to satisfy the audience?
Oh, fuck no. I mean, do I think that I have confidence in there's a couple questions here, Tony. The question whether I think I will be satisfied personally with the end. Do I trust these writers to pull off an ending that's going to be satisfying to me as a TV watcher and what I expect from what I've seen in the show so far? I think yes. The bigger question that you're asking is, will people overall be satisfied by the end? I think no. I think this show is I think every mystery box show right now is set in a situation where you're going to have some people that are going to be disappointed and say this sucks for some reason. But I do believe that these writers do have this planned out. We've said this many times, and I'll say it again. I believe Harold when he said he wouldn't have done the show if he didn't know what the ending was and like the ending. That does not mean that me, Phil, will like it, Tony Teflon will like it, the group of people that are watching us right now, or any of the people that have watched us during the seasons are going to like this ending. I think they like it and they have it in mind. They're not just throwing shit at the wall and making stuff up. They're heading to something. And I would like them to be a finite amount of time. If Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul can be 5 or 6 seasons, you can be 5 or 6 seasons. Just that, finish it up, and let's see what's good. I want the show to last forever for us, but I don't want the show to be stretched out too far. So I do think 5 seasons is perfect.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. 5 seasons, 5, 6. Listen, for my YouTube channel, I wish it went 10, right? But in the end,
oh yeah,
me too. Show, it'd probably be better if it goes 5 to 6 seasons. I could see 6.
Tony, we both wish Game of Thrones was literally still making episodes like the original series right now.
I wish Better Call Saul was still on.
Yeah, me too, Tony. Me fucking too.
Right now, I wish it was on. I swear. I'm trying to pull this up real quick because he told me he did this, and I ain't gonna chat to take a look at it.
Sonic Lost is I started Lost rewatch, but I ended up getting caught up with a lot of new shows I was watching. But yeah, I think 5, 6 perhaps, I mean, a lot's going to come with season 4. I think if season 4 goes the way I think it's going to go, it's going to kind of set things up for 5 being the final season, but we shall see. It definitely has enough smoke and fire in there to go longer, but I don't want it to go the route of The Walking Dead in any way and feel stretched out to a point where the world is just stretched out to stretch out the world. I like stories, especially now, to have more of just a finite story, to know where they're going and get there and not stretch things out too much. There's too many different shows right now, and the time between seasons are too far. So it's good to kind of get shows to that binge point where you can just suggest a whole show to somebody and they can just bam, watch it.
We're talking about from KP's in the building, but let me just read this because it was Terry Matthew made a 5-star review of my book, Darkest Road to Dawn, and I just wanted to read it out loud, and I appreciate him doing it. He said, tense, unpredictable, and utterly absorbing. Darkest Before the Dawn is a gripping thriller with relentless twists. FBI agent Barbara Doc Angeles dives into a chilling hunt for a cunning serial kidnapper, but every clue only deepens the mystery. Tense, unpredictable, and utterly absorbing. From Taryn Matthew, New York Times best-selling author. You know, that means the world to me. It really, you know, it really makes me want to shed a tear. And I don't say that this for pop and circumstance. It does. You know, he's a New York Times best-selling author, and you know, and I asked him when I told him, I said, you know, if it's shit, you know, you don't gotta put nothing like that up there just for me. You know what I mean? Because I know you and stuff and everything, and so he knew that he didn't have to do that. So you know, I truly appreciate it. I truly appreciate it 100%. And thank you, Terry. It means the world to me. It really means the world to me. This is my little mark on the world and stuff. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. And so I appreciate it. I truly appreciate it and stuff. Garrett family says, I forgot I was watching live. What does that mean? He thought it was taped. And Julie B from Julie B Deep Dives, who was kind enough to have me on her show yesterday. Had me on, and thank you. It is in the house, Rocky.
And Tony, I'm not calling out any of our friends, but we have a friend. I love you to death, buddy. I love you. But you did this once. You said it was alive, but it wasn't alive. You did one of those YouTube premieres and faked alive. And we were like, I'm totally live right now. Yeah, fuck you. You weren't live. I know you weren't live. And then you lied about it afterwards because you thought it was funny. But and it was funny, but I've seen people do that before, and I don't know if Tony knows what I'm talking about. But
I know exactly what you're talking about. Let me tell you how crazy Julie B. I love your name and everything else, but it's a beautiful name. Don't ever change. But watch these motherfuckers on YouTube. Watch them, all right? Because I remember when I was doing Game of Thrones stuff, and we had T-Baby. You know, T-Baby was part of Small Council, and we were doing that. And we were talking about the Crips of Winterfell. And then she was saying something. And she was like, yeah, you know, the Crips of Winterfell is a deep crypt. And dude put in the comment, I'd like to be inside T-Baby's crypt.
Oh, my God.
On live stream and stuff. So, these motherfuckers on YouTube, they funny.
Tony, Katie Crow, even as a puppet, got some interesting comments back in the day.
I'm sure she did.
Oh my God. There's a reason she doesn't do it anymore.
I'm sure she did. Now people don't care. Goddamn.
Yeah, a lot of people wanted to be those puppets, Tony. A lot of people wanted to be those puppets.
Yeah, oh yeah. They put you gotta put your hand in. I put my hand up that puppet. Katie Crow.
Can I audition to be your new puppet? Yeah. Nope.
They would have said
Nope.
that. Phone line is open if you want to call in. Y'all know the number and everything else. Julie B says, trust me, it's already happened to me a couple of times. Don't cry about it. There's nothing to cry. It's funny. You gotta just take it in stride and laugh about it and stuff. That dudes are such suckers. I have to say something like that. You gotta just laugh at them. You gotta just laugh at people. That's what it is. Women go through so much with men and everything else. Gray area. I have a lot. I have a lot of chick friends on YouTube. Gray area. She has told me stories about people saying stuff and everything else and all that good stuff. Everything else. Which numbers tonight? What do you mean the numbers for? The numbers for what? The numbers for? Or what number are we using for the call-in tonight? Phil, you want to use yours? You want me to shut mine down?
I gotta set it up. So if anyone calls in right now, they can use yours. Let me.
Yeah, if you want to call in right this second, call in on my number right now, which is
you can call either one. Yeah, either number is fine.
You can call it, which is 518-290-0848, 518-290-0848. Help us get back on track a little bit here. And everything else. If you want to call in, and in a second, then we'll switch to Phil's line. But if you want to call in right now, you can call in on that number real quick, and we'll take your call and everything else. I know, like this, but there we go. There we go. Let's take it. 401.
From Julie B. To accept, press
What's
1.
going on, Julie? Julie, it didn't come up spam. What happened? Did you change the number?
No, my number's still the same. Damn, I'm not a spam caller anymore.
Disappointing.
I was kind of liking that. That was my thing.
You were spam. You're a spam, goddammit.
You gotta troll harder.
What's going on?
Troll harder.
Well, trust me, I had people warn me when I named my channel that. My mom actually was the first one to do it. My mom said, you can't name your channel that. People are going to have their minds in the gutter. You can't do that.
I didn't even get
like,
that.
You know what? Screw it. I don't care. I like that name. It fits with what I'm doing. So, yeah, trust me, it's already happened a couple of times. And, inappropriate comments and all that stuff. And I just laugh it off. It's fine.
That's the best way to do it. It's just laugh about it because these people are such suckers that's what they come up with. But it's coming. You know what I mean? It's just like like when you're on YouTube. It's like elementary school. Like we had this girl named Nicole. And he said, "Big hole, Nicole." Like, come on, that's not really funny. Maybe in elementary school it is.
We had Sperm and Herman. Sperm and Herman.
Oh my God. Yeah, people are going to be creeps. There's no avoiding it. It's fine, but I thank you for coming on my show last night. I mean, yeah, you were thanking me. I appreciate that you came on. I was honored to have you on my show. So thank you for coming on. That was so much fun having you there.
I appreciate it. I will say that Dita did say it was your best show ever when I was on there. I'm just saying Dita said that. I didn't say that. If you get mad about it, go scream at him and stuff like that. But I had a great time on the show. I had a great time on the show. Thank you for allowing me to come on there. Obviously, I love talking to you, love talking to Doug and everybody else. I just wish I would have had more time to talk to the other people who actually came on there after, because obviously it's all about Doug and Doug question and answer session. So I'd like to come back and talk to the actual people that were on there. You know what I mean? That were on there after Dr. K and all that, because I didn't really get a chance to interact with them. So I would like to talk to them.
I would love that, Tony. I would love that. Yeah, let's definitely plan on doing that, because Doc actually toward the end of my live stream, he is the sweetest person. Doc he collaborates with me on From Fridays. Like, we do a different theme every week. It was his idea. From Academy, it was his idea to do it, and he talked about how much you inspired him like you're his inspiration, and he looks up to you. He talked about it right near the end before we signed off of our 8-hour live stream, and it was absolutely the sweetest thing. And he was feeling bad that we didn't get a chance to get into theory talk with you, and he really wanted to do that. So if you're up for it, if you're willing to come on and talk with us about theories, he would love it, and I would love it just as much, because you've been an inspiration to me. You're the first channel that I ever followed from, the first live stream I ever followed, the first one I ever called into. And so, I mean, that would be amazing. I would be thrilled if you would.
Well, I felt bad that I wasn't able to, but again, this is Doug's stream, so we understand what the mission was, to get Doug all the questions and everything else. But I would like to get in depth and come down there and talk some theories with you and Doc K, and the other dude that was on there. I'll definitely do it. We speak anyway when we're not on this, and we'll figure it out a day to get these popping. I ain't got no job right now. I can do it.
That would be awesome. There you go. Well, hey, look at the silver lining.
That's right.
You got time.
I got time to do anything. I got too much time on my hands right now. Like it's Phil. And I'm sorry, I'm going to say this to you as a woman online, but I'm going to say this now. All right, y'all don't judge me. All right, but it's the truth. All right, and this is gonna sound after darky, so I probably shouldn't say it, but I'm gonna anyway. When you're a man and you have this much time in your hands, see, listen, men jerk off, right? They like to, but when you have this much time on your hand, you find any reason to do it. Like you'll just be like, God damn it, I'm out of milk, and just start doing it. Like it's too much time for me right now. I'm dry heaving. All right, God damn it. I gotta figure something out here. God damn it. I got too much time.
Twice in the morning before you even get out of bed, because
I'm being honest, bro. I'm being honest with you.
And then you try not to do it, and you end up doing it when you're just bored. Yep.
You can't help it. I mean, you can't help it. I have too much time. That's why men get jobs, just so we don't do that all the time. That's the whole reason.
Otherwise, it would be 24/7. No, there's no lies
like,
there.
God damn it, I ran out of eggs, motherfucker.
Oh my God.
God damn it, eggs, this price is too high. God damn it. It doesn't matter. You figure out an excuse to do it. So that's my problem. So yes, please, I'll do anything to preoccupy myself in other ways.
Yeah, Julie.
I'm actually doing it. So yes, that's what it is.
Help Tony's refractory period.
Hey, I get it. I get it. I'm no, we're all adults here. I get it. Do what you got to do to pass the time.
Sonic, he doesn't need a PlayStation. He has his own joystick to play with. That's the PlayStation me.
Every night, people would show up. Go live every night. Do some after dark streams.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to have to.
That would be great.
I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to start doing everything. I mean, I will pull out a video every day. I guarantee you that. But also, I have 2 other channels that I started that are on the low that is just coming out and stuff. I'm just putting content on them and stuff. They're actually faceless channels that I started. So I'm putting those channels out there. They should go live on Monday and stuff. I won't tell anybody about them, or you never hear about it, but they'll be out there and stuff like that too. So I'm over there doing that stuff too and everything else and all that. So I'm making other videos and things like that. So I'll have that stuff and everything else and all that good stuff. I hope you appreciate it, Don. How honest I am with you. Other people won't be honest with you. I'm honest. I tell you the truth. No matter what it is, I'm honest motherfucker. Tell you this.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
Oh yeah. We appreciate it. You there's no bullshit. No, you're honest as hell. That's cool. Though that you're dabbling in more stuff with YouTube, and just put out a shit ton of content. We love it. That's great. The more the better. and we were posting the link. We were like dropping the link to your new video, your new theory video you put out. Doc mentioned it. So that's great. Just bring us all the content. We love it. We missed you, Tony. It feels like it's been forever since you did a live.
Yeah,
everyone was asking where you were, and
I appreciate
we
it.
miss you. Like, we need our Tony Teflon.
Well, I appreciate it. I do. But, you know, it's just a situation, again, with the situation that happened with at the workforce, with the old workforce and all that stuff and everything else. And then getting asked to do this and having a job that just tried to give me a promotion to do it for more money, and then turning that down, and then getting fired from this job. And then my daughter just like, why would you do that? And screaming at me and everything else. And that's what happens when these kids, they get to this age where they think they could just talk to you like they could talk to you like this. It's like, I'm still your father, God damn it, but they have the right to say what they want to say. And that what they're saying is in my best interest, that they believe. But in the end, truth be told, it really wouldn't matter if I had a job and I made $250,000 a year on this job. If I died, I would say to myself that I fucked my life up and I didn't make it. And that's the way I would feel. So I have to make it on my terms and do what I want to do, in order for me to look back in my life and say, I made it. So I couldn't do it. And again, it's the same situation that my sister's electrician and stuff, and people always tell her that she should go back to her union and do her job and stuff, and she makes $60 an hour at the union, but she has dreams to do other things. And she's like, if I go back and do that, my mother always tells her to go back into the union, go back to the union. She's like, if I do that, then I feel like I failed. And I don't feel like I failed. That's why I got to keep going the path I'm going. And I feel the exact same way. So I just got to do what I want to do and either make it or die trying, right? And that's just the way it's going to go down with me, one or the other.
Well, you're a survivor, Tony. You're going to make it on your terms. I know it. I know it. I believe in you. Your community believes in you, and you got this. You got this. I'm really sorry about all that you've been going through, but you're going to turn it around. You're gonna find a way. I know it. You are a survivor. You've proven that. So we're all behind you, and we've all got your back here.
Well, thank you. I truly appreciate it. I really do. And it means a lot to me, Julie, that you say that.
Well, I mean it. And it meant a lot to me that you came on my show, because it wasn't so long ago. It was like 11 months ago. It was April of last year. I found your channel. I was just thrilled to hear you read one of my comments out loud. I was like showing my mom, like, look, Tony read my comment. I played it for her. And then I called in and I played that for her. I was so excited because I just absolutely love your show. I look up to you, the way that you've built up the fan base of From, and what you've built is just incredible. And then the fact that just under a year later you were on my show, it was just an honor. Really, it was an honor to have you there, and it would be an honor to have you there again. So thank you for gracing us with your presence. It was just a blast having you there, and it was honestly my favorite live stream I've ever done.
Well,
Peter's right. It was the best one ever.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I do, and I'll be there again. So I'll be there again. I promise you that. There's no doubt about it. That I'll be back. I'll be there. We'll get it popping. We'll get it popping with Doc and everybody else, and we'll talk these theories and everything else, and we'll get it popping. Thank you, Sonic, for praying for me. I appreciate you, the prayers and everything else. And I appreciate that. Amy is back. Thank you, Amy, for coming back. She fed those dumplings to her family, and now she is back in the mix.
Mm-hmm. She's a sweetheart. Amy is such a sweetheart. This community is just amazing. And a lot of these people found me through your channel. Amy's probably one of them. It's just an amazing community that you built from the ground up, from the start of From. And now I'm getting to benefit from it. So many people found my channel because of you. So I just
yeah,
have nothing but appreciation for you and respect for what you've built here.
well, thank you. I think that, they say Chris Rock said it in his thing, like one of his stories, I think it was Bigger Blacker. He said, when you're rich, you got money on your own. When you're wealthy, you make other people rich, right? So I look at it like that. Like, I may not be rich, but maybe I'm wealthy enough to help other people get their stuff over too. And that's the way I look at it when it comes to the community and everything else. And I hope I think I got a lot of channels over, and I hope that I'm helping them in some way fulfill their dreams in their life and go forward. And if I had anything to play with it, I will liken this to this. I dated a woman that I very much enjoyed dating and very much loved at the time when I was dating her. And I got her away from some guy who was abusing her, beating her up and everything else. And when I came into the picture, I put a stop to all that and got with her. We broke up and it didn't work out, but now she's married and she has 4 kids and she's very happy and we're friends. And I told her, I said, if my role in your life was just to get you away from this guy, to get you to this guy, then I'm very proud to have played that role in your life so that you can be happy and your family is blossoming. And if that's all I was supposed to do, and that's all God put me on this planet to be in your life, just to get you away from this guy who was beating you up, to get you towards this guy who truly loves you, then I'm fine playing that role. And I'm very proud to play that role in life. And we're friends to this day and everything else. And, and I'm happy for her and everything else. And she's a good woman and all of that. So that's the way I looked. Yes, I did whip him. I did. I did have to beat that guy up. I did, unfortunately, but I did. I had no choice. But yeah, that's cool with me.
That's beautiful, Tony. See, that just shows the kind of guy that you are. This is, I mean, this is why people gravitate to you so much, because you're a real, genuine person with a big heart. At the end of the day, like that matters more than anything else. That's how Doc and I both feel. That you are such a good soul. You have a huge heart, and you care about people and how you can make a difference in others' lives. And we need more people like you in this world. We really do. The world would be a better place, Tony. I mean it.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, Dita, for gifting the 5 membership, the Teflon TV. I truly appreciate that. Is that the Game of Thrones cup, Tony? Goddamn right, Amy. This is the same cup I've been rocking since Game of Thrones. This is the same one I've been rocking. 10, 13 years I've been rocking this cup. This is
of course it is.
I was given to me by a beautiful lady from Salt Lake City. I won't say her name, but she sent it to me, and I've been rocking it ever since. A thug month, rocking it ever since. And as long as I got a channel, I'll always be rocking it.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's your trade. It's your trademark. You got to have that.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
Anyway, I will get off the line. I'm tying up the line as usual, but it's just a pleasure to talk to you, and as always, and thanks for taking my call, Tony. And I hope Phil's doing well. I missed Phil as well. I can't hear him, obviously, because I'm on your line, but hello to Phil.
Hi.
We missed both of you. Everyone in the fandom, we were like, oh my God, we need Tony and Phil back. So it's just nice to see you guys back on here again. And, yeah, Tony, just hang in there, stay strong. Your community's behind you. We've got your back, and I know things are going to get better.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All
right. You guys have a good night, Tony and Phil.
You too, Julie.
You too, Julie.
Bye.
All right. I'm going to stop this. That would be the only one that I'll take from my call. We'll move to Phil's line after that. But, and Kelly Johnson, he says, the dunk show help you go to 150T. I hope so. I mean, maybe it will. We'll see. You know what I mean? We'll be covering it and everything else. So maybe it will, maybe it won't.
Thing
but,
is a tough nut to crack. Yeah, it's a tough nut to crack, but
it is. But I'm gonna start. I do too. What's gonna happen is we're gonna start doing some before it comes up, some Dunkin' Egg stuff, going through it and everything. We're gonna bring in Miss Duncan the Tall, who is the expert, the most premier expert on the Dunkin' Egg. There's no YouTuber, no one who has more knowledge on Dunkin' Egg than Miss Duncan the Tall. And we'll bring her on. Beautiful woman. We'll bring her on, and we'll start going through the Dunkin' Egg books and everything else, and before it comes on and all that good stuff, we'll get it popping and everything. So, but The Last of Us will be up first, so we'll cover The Last of Us and do a stream every week for that. With Phil, we'll do The Last of Us. I know Phil does that with Joe. I know that's him and Joe's thing because Joe watched the game and everything. But we'll sneak Phil on the channel here to do some Last of Us after he's done his thing with Joe, because they got to do that thing because Joe is very passionate about
that's
the
like
game.
the once a year I can get Joe off mothballs.
100%. 100%. Hey, 100%. You got, because Joe is passionate about the game, so he's got to get his.
It's the only thing he gives a shit about at this point.
No
that
doubt.
and opportunities to trash The Walking Dead.
Yeah, Kelly Johnson says, "Would you have hands on Arian Bright Flame?" Of course. We talking about that. Listen. I promise you, Kelly, we will go through the whole Dunkin' Egg, the whole trial by combat. We'll go through all that stuff. And what I believe every episode, what I believe it's going to pan out to, and all that. We'll get right back into the world. Like, I just had somebody actually hit me up, watch a video that I did like 11 years ago, and comment like, I'm watching a comment that you answered of mine 11 years ago today, and I'm so happy to watch it again.
That's too fun.
And I watched it. Yeah.
I hope in all of our, and I'll say it, not that he doesn't know he's invited, but anytime we do any Dunkin' Egg stuff, hopefully we'll have Bridge pop on occasionally.
He better fucking be. It's not.
I bet we won't see him till the season starts, but he'll be there.
Best be there.
We'll get him 3 or 4 times during the season is my bet.
Yeah.
Under 3 or 4 times. I say about 3 or 4 we'll get Bridge.
He better fucking come. He better come. There's no doubt. Pause on that. But he better. There's no doubt about it. I don't care if he's not doing anything on his channel. He's still got to come and just rock with us.
At least at the beginning and the end of the season, it would be nice if he
yeah, and I'm sure we'll hook up with Gray, and we'll hook up with Direwolf City.
Yeah, totally.
And we'll hook up with all of them, and we'll be back on that tip. You know what I mean? Pause. We'll be all on that, hanging out and everything else. It'll be a great time.
We'll be on the tip, and Bridge 4 will be coming.
With milk.
With milk. And dunk and egg and
it's some type of cat.
Exactly. Blood Raven has many eyes in here.
Yeah, many eyes.
Yeah, and we'll be doing Last of Us too. Tony and I will be covering it probably at some point during the week, and then Joe and I will be doing after show episodes and that kind of shit.
Yeah, he'll have it right after shows. You go to Phil the Issues Guy's channel. He'll be covering with him, and Joe Dirty Locks will be up there. The day after, probably it'll be me and Phil will come on there, and then we'll talk about it and everything else, and all that. So we'll definitely be covering The Last of Us and popping it off. Again, it's hard for channels. Again, I explained to you how YouTube works. So can you break through on that? It's possible, but it's hard. Not like Severance. Severance is a little bit easier, right? It's not as convoluted as Dunkin' Egg will be. You know, like Severance, there are a lot of channels covering it, but that's nothing compared to Game of Thrones.
I'm very curious about Dunkin' Egg.
Those shows get covered by thousands and thousands of channels. Like it's a dirty game just to hit that algorithm to get in there. It's really hard. I mean, let me put it to you like this. TYT is a political network. All right. I don't know anyone knows who TYT is, but they do politics. They were covering Game of Thrones every week. Like doing a live stream for an hour and a half on Game of Thrones. That's what Game of Thrones is. That's what you're breaking into when you try to break into that. You know what I mean? It ain't easy. it ain't easy when you're doing it. It's not easy. I mean, Joe Buttons, I remember, was looking for people to come on his podcast to explain to him what Game of Thrones is all about. And I remember Gray Area kept hitting him up trying to get on there and stuff. And so when you have people like Joe Budden's podcast, you know, TYT, the Young Turks, and all these covering, this is a different beast. That show was a different animal.
And
You know,
I don't know if I'm going to be wrong about this, but I have a feeling because of the simplicity of the story and the not simplicity of it mainly being focusing on two characters, this show could be more popular I have a feeling it's going to be more popular than House of the Dragon. I think it's going to connect with people a little bit more because
it all depends what people are looking for. If they're looking for dragons, you're looking for, you're not going to get on with that. But I understand what you're saying. It has more of a kung fu vibe, right?
Yeah, and you really get to know these characters, and if they cast this well, which it looks like they did, and they're following the novellas, I think people will hook on to this. And some of the people that were missing some of the character in Game of Thrones, because House of the Dragon is good for explosions and moments, but I don't feel like they dig in character enough. And it has weird pacing sometimes and goes too long with Damon here and too quick with this character here. And sometimes, I don't know, whatever. But Dunkin' Egg really has a chance to take its time and get to know those two characters, you know?
But it doesn't have the same anyone can die at any time, right? It's called Dunkin' Egg. So you have to figure, you know, it's called the Hedge Knight. So you have to figure they're going to survive, right? If you want to watch it. So we'll have that aspect to it.
Well, spoiler alert, but like not till we get to something till the season called Summerhall, I guess.
Yeah, so we'll figure all that out later. But that's what it. Kelly Johnson, thank you for super chat. Is Tansel too tall for you, T? Let me answer this question this way, and I have two answers for you, real quick. I'll tell any lady who is not black of complexion, we're all black when the lights go out. And I'll tell any woman who's taller than me, and I'm 5'10", who's taller than me, when we lay down, we're all the same size. So no, there ain't no woman too tall, and there ain't no skin color that will make me not want to be with them. That's the bottom line. And I don't. Amy says you glow in the dark. That's all right. That's all right. You could be that light bright. I loved my light bright when I was little. That was one of my favorite toys of all time. Light bright, goddamn it.
light bright, 7 numbers of burning lights.
And the rainbow light bright is one of the greatest fucking inventors of all time, right?
I like that. I mean, all those early toys were amazing. Like the Light Bright Etch-a-Sketch for what it was, the Etch-a-Sketch animator, like all that fucking shit was fucking crazy. Yeah, but the Light Bright was amazing. Like
Light Bright was fucking amazing. I mean, listen, you only had a couple of pieces of paper. You put the shit in, it lights up, it doesn't do anything. You stick it in there, but just the fact that you're getting it in there, it's just exciting to do it, right? Etch-a-Sketch, if you're just a child, it sucks. But if you're one of these Etch-a-Sketch masters, I've seen people draw shit that's unbelievable.
Like, yeah, like the Parthenon and shit like that. You know, like
how did you do that? Yeah, on this fucking Etch-a-Sketch, bro. I just feel like shaking it on you and making it go away. Like, how do you do this on this fucking Etch-a-Sketch? You know, everything. Yeah. So no, you know, I don't discriminate. I regulate any shade of that ass. You know, that's just the way it is. But that's how the Don rolls. But you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. I don't. People can do whatever they want in life and everything else. Listen, I love my sisters. I can't lie about that. They get top billing. They get top billing. I'm not gonna lie about it. You know what I mean? They get top billing. But no, I'll fall in love with whoever wants to fall in love with me at the time if it ever happens again. It doesn't matter. That's nothing that I worry about in life. Like people, we all the same, and that's it. Just black people's extra. And that's all right. We're 2 hours in. That is the time that we wrap up and stuff. And it's 10:30 at night and stuff. We can't keep Phil on here, Phil. We can't keep y'all out here. You got things to do and everything else. Kelly Johnson says, write another book, T. Well, buy the first. Let's let's go through the first book. Let's buy that. I have two books that I'm working on right now. I'm working on the sequel to this book. This is the Darkest Before the Dawn would be 3 books. It could go further, but it's 3 books. That is the way it is. But I'm working on another book that has nothing to do with this book. But this book is about basically a bunch. I'll tell you the synopsis real quick. It's about the greatest hunters in the world. And they all get this golden ticket, like Willy Wonka style, to go to this island to hunt mystical creatures that have been extinct from this planet for years.
Like woolly mammoths and shit?
Yes. And that's what the book is about. That will be the one that comes out before this book, but that will be the next book. But that's what it's about. Like these hunters from all over the world, you get this golden ticket, you get to go to this island, and on this island there are creatures who have been extinct for all these years, and they get to hunt them. That is a synopsis for it. I won't go into any further dealings about it and everything else. But if you read my first book, then you should know the style that I write, and you should know what's coming there. But that's what that's what will be there, and then we'll do a part 2 for this one and everything else. So. That's what's coming up in my author career and everything else and all that. So yeah, thank you very much. You know that Real Cinema Theory saying good evening, and we're about to leave. I'm so sorry that
now that you've arrived, we can end the party. Yeah.
I feel bad. I feel bad that we're about to get up out of here and stuff as soon as you get up in here and everything else. But Real Cinema Therapy, thank you for stopping by. Hopefully you could stop by at a time and earlier that when we jump on the stream and everything else and all that. But thank you for stopping by and subscribing, all that stuff. We'll be back with another stream sooner or later and everything else. Amy's, I'll rewatch this later. I missed too much. Thank you so much, Amy. Don't have your children watching. I said some things in here that may have been inappropriate.
Yeah, there was. Tony Teflon is not responsible for the terms and words that he was saying during this live stream. Please do not watch with your children, and please.
Jessica, thank you for supporting me and rocking with me. I truly appreciate it. Obviously, Sonic Boy, thank you for rocking with me and everything else. Dita, thank you for the super chats. Thank you for my man Kelly Johnson and everything else and all that for the super chats and everything. KP is calling. All right, let's wait for KP to call. Call Phil's line, and we'll take KP's call, and then we're out after KP's call.
Okay. Welcome, KP.
Good evening. Hello, Tony. What's up, man? What's up, Phil? What's up to the chat? How is everybody going tonight? Tell me what's going on.
Doing good, baby. Yeah.
Tony, I read your book and I have questions and I want to know when we're going to be starting when we'll be having a proper Q&A for the day one readers to really ask some questions about this
if I can do a Q&A for the book, if people want me to do the Q&A for the book and discuss the book, I'll definitely do it. If you have a question right now that doesn't spoil the book and I can answer it,
I have lots of questions, but you know what? I could do the questions, I can send them to you on Facebook, and it could be like a prepper. So when you have the Q&A, you have a couple. Like at least you have an idea of what I am concerned about. You know what I mean?
Give me a question.
That would be very cool. That would be very cool. So so I'll send you someone on Facebook with some questions like sometime during the week. Last night, that thing with Julie was fun last night. I mean, I hopped on for just a couple minutes. That was a fun little stream. Doug is such a nice guy. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I don't really have very many questions about season 4 from. I am wondering. I do have questions about Severance because I'm caught up on Severance fully. I saw episode 9 last night, and so when we're doing a Severance, like I know a lot of stuff has been happening in your life, Tony. You know what I mean? And my heart goes out here.
Thank
Not in an Elon Musk way, but in like a proper way.
Mhm.
But we need to get back to a regular scheduled program. So
Okay.
just let me know what our schedule is going to be looking like in terms of covering Severance and the Duncan Egg thing. Because I think Duncan Egg is coming soon, not so? Am I correct?
Yeah. Yep. It's so. All right. So I'll do a Severance live stream early this week. I'll do a Yellow Jackets live stream. Right after I'll do a Yellow Jacket live stream right after that, and then we'll start working
Yeah.
on the next stuff and all that.
And when is Duncan Egg starting?
Not like next month.
Oh, cool. Well, then listen. Then you definitely need to get a proper schedule together because we have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I just got home. I saw some of your stream while I was driving, but just got home. So I'm gonna settle myself in to bed. And but it was good to see you back, Tony. I hope everything, I hope things
I did not hang up on him. I don't know. He hung up on himself then. Just for the record, I did not hang up on KP there. That was not me. I would play the Jeopardy theme. I would not hang up on him.
I know you wouldn't. I wouldn't. All right, yeah. All right. I think Dunkin' Egg is next month. If not, it's a month.
I'm looking for it right now. I'm looking at what the premiere date is. But no, I did not. Sorry, KP. It just says 2025. I can't see the date. Right
No,
now.
there's a date. It is a date that comes out. It's up there and everything. Now we would never hang up on KP. That's not the way we get.
No, I'd play the Jeopardy thing, dude.
And all that good stuff. All right, people. If you like the way you do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and of course, subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.